Mike Tyson, at least bringing up his name. In your prime, could you have beaten him?
Who?
You know. The guy with whom you had your last fight.
Everybody in this room here would have been able to beat Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was born right.
Really?
Yeah. You'd have never heard of it.
Joe's sitting over there nodding his head like I ain't sure about that.
Yeah, everybody.
Well, I think that the young man has something that, we all had ourselves. It's just the idea that he's there and he's doing the job, he's sacrificed, and, he's a marksman. If you look at this young man, when he throw punches, he don't throw punches for the heck of it. It was a cause and a reason. And believe it or not, he's right on target.
Well, we all did that.
Well, I think we blundered up into the shoulders and the legs, some low blows, and I land a few of myself. But this guy's a marksman.
Larry Holmes, the Melly Mel of boxing. One of the biggest haters. Mike wouldn't be competitive with him, Muhammad Ali, Norton, or Joe Frazier. Ridiculous. There was way inferior fighters to Mike Tyson who gave all four of them tough fights and beat some of them. So stop it. What a hater. Mike Tyson is going down in history as a son of a bitch. Down the line he'll destroy himself. What horrible words. You see Ken Norton sitting next to him. He didn't say anything. It's not Ken Norton's style. Muhammad Ali didn't look impressed to me about what Holmes was saying. And big up Joe Frazier for talking up for Mike. Larry's an all-time great heavyweight, no doubt. It is also an all-time great hater. So Ukad and the British Boxing Board of Control won their appeal against the anti-doping panel, who last year lifted Conor Benn's temporary suspension. Last August, Ukad and the board decided to challenge the decision. What is not clear, though, is whether the outcome of the decision could lead to Benn's suspension being reimposed. We are now approaching nearly 2 years since Benn was last seen in a British ring. It's a long time. The British Boxing Board of Control say that Benn should not be licensed to fight over here until he has been cleared via a definitive explanation of how the clofamine entered his system. They're saying this case could head to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Now, the board and Ukad have declined to comment. Benn is free to fight in the country. His representatives say no suspension has been ordered, and he remains free to fight. So although they've overturned the decision, we don't have a position on whether Benn is still banned. Maybe the ban will work retroactively like Tyson Fury's ban because of the time it took to process this latest appeal by the board and Ukad. Now, it was a temporary suspension that the National Anti-Doping Panel overturned. So if it's temporary, they're unlikely to reimpose the suspension. Does that mean they will license Conor Benn, though? Conor responded, work ethic unmatched. Block out the noises. Stay focuses. I guess he meant to say focused.
Now, I'm sure you're aware of the news that broke overnight. I'm sure I'm not even the first person today to ask you about it, and that's the Daily Mail reporting that the Board of Control and UKAD have been successful in their appeal lifting of Conor Benn's suspension.
Yeah, look, I saw the article. The truth is that the matter is an ongoing legal situation that it remains confidential, hence why none of the parties involved have made a comment on it. Now, that's UKAD, that's BBFC and Conor Benn. It's not our position to comment on it. As soon as there's more news, we'll be able to.
Preemptive strike by the British Boxing Board of Control. They leaked it. Just my opinion, I think they leaked it. Get their first lick in to say, yeah, look, the appeal went in their favour, even though the case is ongoing, and is likely to go to the arbitration of sports. It will resolve itself eventually. In the meantime, somebody needs to ask the board about these British boxers fighting in the UK with licenses from other countries, and on the day of the fight, they'll just apply for a temp license to fight over here. That's crazy. But he's been swept under the carpet for some reason. Great way to get past VAR testing, isn't it? Like, that guy's going to be buoyed up by the Polish fans, and I can see him actually struggling against
RAZANSKI.
Yeah, I can actually see a struggle. I can actually see a struggle because, like, that guy's going to be buoyed up by the Polish fans, and hey, listen.
But once again, he's away, isn't he? Yeah.
Yes,
not even
that's intimidating atmosphere, man.
Imagine getting them cushy fights in London when you're fighting on AJ undercards to like going then obviously to Bournemouth down to CBS's like home ground, and now you're like You going out to Poland? Damn, yeah.
Going out to Poland. Going out to Poland. And listen, Razanski ain't going to want to give up that belt. And that's going to be a huge scalp for him. A former cruiserweight champion. I see that being a tough fight. Yeah. Listen, this is two booby traps, baby. They sent you to Chris's hometown, right?
Booby traps.
Right. You're the champ. Now they're packing you off to Poland, right? Listen, okay, if that goes to the scorecards and it's a contentious decision in other people, who's getting the decision? He ain't getting it.
Poland. Yeah, Poland.
Right.
My man's got to go out there and splatter him.
He's got to knock him out. Lawrence Okolie has called out Dillian Whyte. I think Okolie should refrain from calling out anybody at this point. If he's going to fight this Polish guy for the Bridgerweight title, Razanski, he needs full concentration on this fight. This is like a James Bond mission. It's not a joke. This ain't the Lawrence Okolie tune-up show, redemption show after losing your belt. When he fought Chris Billiam Smith, I broke the fight down. And it was one of them ones where I got the breakdown down to a T in terms of what the tactics are. I said Billiam Smith has to alert the referee in clinches that Okolie is holding. Put your arms out like an airplane. Ref, look. But what I didn't bank on was Shane McGuigan barking at the referee about Okolie's holding. Now, if anyone thinks that this was just random, Shane just decided to get on the referee and point out Okolie's holding, that this just happened as the fight was progressing. No, they had it pre-planned. Just like I did in my breakdown, they had it pre-planned. How much points did he lose that fight, Okolie? And the belt was gone. Razanski will struggle to deal with them octopus arms of Okolie. He will struggle, as most cruiserweights will. I don't know if he's going to be a Polish referee. I'm not sure. But you're going to have some avid Polish fans who are going to be barking at Lawrence Okolie. Barking for his blood. And if the referee is going to favour a fighter, I'm not saying he's not going to be neutral and do his job, but if he is going to favour a fighter, it's likely to be Razanski. And Razanski is likely to try and adopt the same tactics as Chris Billiam Smith. This automatically makes the fight very tough for Lawrence Okolie. I know a lot of people in Britain are laughing at this fight, thinking, Okolie's just going to bowl him over. Razanski is 15-0 with 14 knockouts. Only one of the fights have went 4 rounds. That was a 4-rounder. Most of his fights end in round 1 or 2. So he's going to come after Okolie, who hasn't fought since March last year, over a year ago, where he was floored for the first time in his career. He was floored a couple of times. And you're walking straight into a banger in his backyard with these Polish fans who are going to be supporting Razanski for everything they have. Do you know the government actually helped fund his title fight win against Alan Babbage? That's how much they wanted a champion. People are taking it for a joke, like, this is just, we just go in there, take the belt and walk out. Won't be that easy. You shouldn't be calling out Dillian. Lawrence Okolie needs to know what to expect when he goes in there. Yeah? A couple of them clinches and a couple of points gone could be crucial. Joe Gallagher is a new coach. He's had Brian O'Shaughnessy. He had the American guy who used to do coaching videos on YouTube. You had him, Barry Robinson, Shane McGuigan, Sugar Hill, and now Joe Gallagher. Well, some of you are going to say, well, Anthony Joshua has had a whole load of coaches. That is true. That is true. And I can't argue that, but I don't know if Okolie and Joe Gallagher are looking at this like, well, it's just a tune-up for bigger stuff when perhaps they move up to heavy. But they haven't had a long time to work on new things and adjust to what each other does as boxer and trainer. I'm not saying Razanski is some world beater. Okolie should win the fight, but I'm not sure if this is the fight to, let's see if our new partnership works. Full focus needs to be on Razanski. He's a banger. And his style is to have a fight. And if Okolie thinks he's going to get away with holding, and he's not going to get away with it in there. Could get DQ'd this time. 24th of May. Let me just say this. Anyone taking this as Okolie's comeback tune-up fight, don't. I see a picture of Okolie the other month, and he looked a little heavy, but the extra 25 pounds at Bridgerweight should unburden him from what I'm assuming had to be a struggle to continuously make cruiser. And he should just have way too much for this guy. Way too much. You know, Razanski ain't been past 4, so you have to assume Okolie will drown him in the later rounds. if the fight goes that far. So in October, Leigh Wood defended his title with an exciting 7th round finish against Josh Warrington, defending his WBA featherweight title. I believe he's given the belt up. They said he was going to give the belt up. I believe he's given it up. Now, there was a break clause in his contract with Matchroom that if they were unable to deliver him a fight at the City Ground, Warrington, obviously a Nottingham Forest fan, he would be able to leave and seek opportunities elsewhere as a free agent. So, as of now, he's a free agent. Now, he wanted to fight at the City Ground, but things didn't work out, it says here, because of the football season or the opponent or whatever obstacle was in the way. And I'm guessing they had a certain time to deliver this fight at the City Ground and they weren't able to do it. Now, is he going to sign to someone else and give them the burden of delivering this fight at the City Ground? It's actually quite similar to why Chris Billiam-Smith left Matchroom, wasn't it? They couldn't deliver him that fight at Bournemouth Stadium. And he went to Ben Shalom and they did that. He's had a couple of fights there. Although they're saying that Chris Billiam-Smith's second defence against Richard Riakporhe could be at Crystal Palace, South London, which is Richard Riakporhe territory. At 35 years of age, I wouldn't imagine Leigh has many fights left, so he's looking to secure his future, some lucrative paydays, and hopefully get that City Ground fight and get out the game.
Get back to it. Beats, what's happened with
Derrick James and Spence. Yeah. Let me just say, everyone hit the like button. The rumours are that Derrick hasn't been paid for the Crawford fight, so he threw Errol out the gym. There's bags with Errol's logo on the bag, and he took the bags down and everything. But he's saying, no, it's not that deep. That he spoke to Errol, and the first time he's heard of these rumors is online, apparently. Yeah.
Are there like credible rumors, or is it just literally idle gossip that the internet's running wild with?
Well, from a credible source, the bags were taken down from the gym. Bags were taken down. So on Cigar Talk, an interview posted on YouTube with host Naji, Derrick James said he's focused on his other guys. When asked about Spence, we talked 3 weeks ago. You can't look back, you can't look forward, and you can't look back at the same time. Spence mentioned on social media he's looking for a new home. Calvin Ford expressed an interest in training Spence. Derrick, or Delboy, when asked if he expects Spence to fight again, he said mentally, I guess he's okay. I believe when you participate in your biggest fight and lose, when the song stops playing, you've got to dance or start putting that chair up. Appearing to reference the faded versions of two great fighters, James said Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali still wanted it, even as retirement beckoned. If he's healthy and everything's good with him, talking about Spence, he can keep doing what he's doing, admitting he's not involved in discussions for Spence's next fight, which is strange if you're training the guy. But James advised Spence to take the rematch with Crawford. If you're going to fight, the rematch is the fight, finish the deal out. Robert Lee, former WBA Vice President, one of the founder members of the IBF, a breakaway group from the WBA, has passed away. He also worked with the New Jersey Athletic Commission, got caught up in some dodgy business, bribery scandals, racketeering. Bob Arum paid a middleman to get actual Schultz ranked to fight George Foreman in a title fight. And, eventually Robert Lee was ran out of boxing, collecting bribes with his son running up to $300,000. He's passed away, age 91. R.I.P., I guess. Last Saturday, Michael Hunter fought in Mexico against 35-year-old Ignacio Esparza, who apparently bailed after the end of the fourth. Hunter was winning the fight, but they say he never visibly hurt the guy. Esparza pulled out with a shoulder injury. 35 years of age. Tell you what, I remember getting flamed up by a lot of my regulars on this channel when I was telling them Michael Hunter is not the boogeyman and he's not who you say he is. What happened to that guy's career? Apparently he's scheduled to fight again on April the 14th in Uzbekistan. Hopefully they get a better opponent than this. IBF 140-pound champion Subriel Matias defends against Liam Paro in Puerto Rico June the 15th. It was scheduled to happen a little while back, then it went off the boil, but it's back on. It's back on. Puerto Rico. Top Rank's new super middleweight signing, Christian Mbile. He's set to face Mark Heffron from the UK on May the 25th in Canada. Heffron surrendered his British and Commonwealth titles to Jack Cullen in an upset last year. He came back with a win over a journeyman, let's say, or a trial horse in February this year. And it should be routine work for Christian Mbile, a Frenchman based in Canada. 26-0, 22 inside the distance, no losses, no draws. The monster who got a little exposed in Riyadh last year, Arslanbek Makhmudov, he returns against Junior Farr, who also lost on the day of reckoning in Riyadh last year to Frank Sanchez. Makhmudov, he got ruthlessly exposed. That's the only word to describe it. Exposed by KABAYEL. That's on the undercard to Mbile versus Heffron. PBC's big debut on Amazon Prime. How much people are heading over to Amazon to purchase the pay-per-view? Oh shit. Some are saying the main event is a better style matchup rather than Keith Thurman, old sick note Thurman, who Fundora is replacing. Maybe they're confusing style matchup with curiosity. I think people want to see this 6'5" slugger wading in there, giving up his advantages, and see a slugfest. That's what people are expecting. Where with Keith Thurman, Tszyu would have to work way harder for his openings. Way harder. Unless Fundora has changed his style drastically, I don't see that WBO belt changing hands. Makes too much mistakes. Coming off a knockout loss. Tszyu should win this big, or there will be the cross-examination of what happened.
I'm cross-examining you, my man.
I'm picking Pitbull Cruz with his more serious approach to boxing to get a decision over Rolly, outwork him, better inside fighter. Some people are saying that Rolly has made these improvements and Pitbull has to be wary. Well, they're bound to say that. It's Rolly's first defense, yeah, of that WBA 140-pound title that he won from Old Face Killer. Tony Weeks, let's just say the refereeing didn't look like it was totally on the level.